Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Please ensure to like, share, and subscribe. And also click the bell notification in the top right-hand corner to be made aware anytime I upload tutorials or videos to YouTube. All right, let's craft together. Hey guys, we are going to be sublimating on this glass tumbler today. This glass tumbler has been coated to receive sublimation ink. So I already have my image printed out that we're going to be sublimating onto this glass tumbler. And I have this image at 8.1 by 8.3. 8.1 by 8.3 width and height, okay? So I actually uploaded this image that I created using the Discord server in Midjourney. I uploaded it to Microsoft PowerPoint, and that's where I printed it from. So I didn't go through Cricut Design Space because I didn't want to have to worry about the registration mark and all that good stuff. So first thing you want to do is remove the lid. You want to take that off, and you want to wipe your tumbler down on the outside with some rubbing alcohol. And the reason you want to do that is to get away or to get off any finger smears or anything like that, because you really want your glass to be clean, okay? When you wipe it down, guys, you also want to make sure you allow it to dry, air dry, before you put your image on there. So we got that taken care of. Wipe it down, wipe it down, wipe it down with some rubbing alcohol, and it dries really fast. Now we're going to be cooking we're going to be using our convection oven, or my convection oven, to actually put this image onto this frosted glass tumbler. And so we have some heat tape here that we're going to use to help hold our image down onto the sublimation tumbler. And I also have some shrink wrap that I'm going to use in the very end before we put it into the convection oven. Now, I'm going to be using my heat gun. The heat gun is going to help to secure the shrink wrap onto the tumbler once we get our image on, okay? Now, according to the Make Market, which is who this product is by, they tell you to, if you're doing a sublimation oven, which would be my convection oven, you want to preheat to 356 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 Celsius, and heat for 8 minutes. Do not exceed 400 degrees. Okay, so you don't want to go past 400. I'm going to have mine right at the 356 mark. I'm going to do 4 minutes. I'm going to turn it at the 4-minute mark so that it can get a full 360 heat application to it. And then we're going to let it cool down, and then we'll unwrap it together to see what it looks like. Also, guys, when you are doing sublimation, I'm going to take this now, my image, and I'm going to put this image onto the tumbler. You want to make sure that you wrap this around here as tight as possible. You don't want to have any air pockets, guys. Let me get my tape started, because that's always my issue. I get it nice and tight, and then I have to let it go because I need to get my tape. So you guys can see I am wrapping this around nice and tight. Now you want to make sure that your nails or what have you don't scratch the surface of your image, because your image is coated also with sublimation ink. So you don't want to scratch it, because if you scratch it, it's going to scratch your ink off of your tumbler, and you don't want to do that, because then you're going to end up with, you know, part of your image missing. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm just using my heat tape, and I'm going to go down this seam to close it. And it looks like I'm about to run out of heat tape. Thank God I got more in there, because I just looked at my thing and I'm like, oops, look like it's about to run out. And it did. So this is the last piece. So I'm going to grab some heat tape because I'm going to need some. You're going to put heat tape also after you close your seam off. You're going to put heat tape on the top and the bottom of your glass as well. And let me just make sure I got my image going in the right direction. You always want to make sure the image is going in the right direction, because if it's upside down, you can't fix it once you sublimate it, okay? So let me get some heat tape. All right, we got the heat tape changed. I don't know why my camera stopped, but we got the heat tape on there now. I'm gonna do a piece that's kind of long so that I can do a continuous part here on the top to cover this up. And again, you are pulling this tape tight, guys, because you don't want any air pockets. So I am pulling it tightly around the glass. If you have air pockets, you can end up getting air in between the image and the glass, which will lead to what we call ghosting. And that's where it looks like you have white spots on your glass, and you can't recover from ghosting either unless you put a black color around your image and then put some white on top of it, which is a lot of work for something that's still not going to look very nice when you're done. All right, so making sure I got that tight. There we go. Then we're going to bend that bottom down. Again, the purpose is to make sure you don't have any air escaping. All right, do not want to get any air in there. And I'm going to put one more piece on this side because I do have a little area that I did not cover. And then what I like to do, guys, is to take my nail and go down that seam just to make sure that it is nice and sealed. Okay. All right. Once we do that, we're just going to take and kind of spin it a little bit on the top and the bottom to make sure it's nice and tight. Just like that. You don't want any air escaping. Okay. Any air escaping. And then you're going to take your shrink wrap and you're going to put your glass inside. And you want to leave a little space at the top and the bottom. Okay, so we got space here and we got some space here. And we're going to use the heat gun to shrink this a little bit. Once we put it in the convection oven, it's going to continue to adhere to the glass. So we just want to kind of get it started. So you probably won't be able to hear me talking with this heat gun going, but you'll be able to see what I'm doing here. I'm gonna pull this up a little bit like that. And you don't want to get too close because you can burn the shrink wrap and then that defeats the purpose. All right, and that's good. You basically just want to get it started because once we sit it down in the convection oven, it's going to continue to shrink. The shrink wrap is going to continue to stick tight to the glass, and that's what we want, okay? But you don't want to get too close like I said, with shrink wrap, because you don't want to burn a hole in it, because then you're gonna have to throw that shrink wrap away and start over. And I have my little tray that I like to sit my tumblers on. This is a piece of Teflon that I have at the bottom. So I'm gonna sit this in the convection oven just like this. I'm gonna let it cook for 4 minutes, then I'm gonna spin it and then let it cook for an additional 4 minutes, and then we will be done. We'll let it cool down, and then we'll unveil it together to see what it looks like. So let's go to the convection oven. And again, I have my convection oven at 356, and I use my phone as the timer or my laptop as the timer. I don't use the timer on the convection oven. But we're gonna do a total of 8 minutes, like I said. And what's the other thing? Then we'll let it cool down and we'll unwrap it. It's always good to have a heat thermometer inside of your convection oven, because that will help you to navigate what the temperature is inside of your convection oven, okay? Because when you open the door, you're letting heat out, so you want to make sure that you don't have it lower than 356 or higher than 400 in this case, okay? All right, let's go to the convection oven. All right, guys, my heat thermometer inside of my convection oven is at 356. I have my convection oven at convection, and that's what you want to have it on. You don't want to put it on oven. You want to make sure you have it turned over to the convection side. And we're going to go ahead and put our glass in. And again, after 4 minutes, we're going to turn it and let it, you know, get a full heat all around the glass. And you do not want to exceed 4 minutes or 8 minutes. Whoops. You do not want to exceed 8 minutes with this, guys. All right. So after, and I had a heat glove on when I put that in there because it is hot. So you want to make sure you have some heat gloves. And after 4 minutes, I'll come back. I'll let you see me spin it. And at the 8-minute mark, we'll take it out, we'll let it cool, and then we'll unveil it together. All right, see you in 4 minutes. All right, guys, the first 4 minutes are up. We're gonna turn it. I'm gonna put my heat glove back on. We're going to let it go for another 4 minutes and we'll be done. All right, guys, we are now at officially the 8-minute mark. We're going to go ahead and take it out. I can see that the image is starting to bleed through, which is a clear indication that it should be a good sub. So here you guys can see. You guys can see how clear that image is starting to bleed through. So we're going to let it cool off. And they tell you to let it cool all the way off. So we're going to do just that because it is super hot. So we're going to let it cool off and then we'll unveil it together. It even looks like the ink, not the ink, but the shrink wrap started to melt down into the inside. So I was just trying to pull that up. But we're going to let this cool off because it's kind of getting through my gloves. It's because it's super hot. We're going to go ahead. Don't forget to cut off your convection oven because these babies are hot. I get a lot of people to ask me, where do I get my convection oven from? I got this from Walmart about 2.5 years ago now. And they no longer sell this one. This is the Hamilton Beach, and it's the extra large. So you can get like 3 tumblers, 3 20-ounce tumblers in there at one time. And yeah, but this one has been discontinued, the model number. So anywho, but it's Hamilton Beach. I'm sure you can still find a extra wide format Hamilton Beach though. All right. So once this cools down, I'll come back and we'll unveil it together just to see what it looks like. All right. All right. So this is it cooling down, but I wanted you guys to see that for a full 360, you can see where the ink bled through all around. So like I said, we should have a good sub. We're going to let it finish cooling and we'll see what it looks like. All right, guys, we have now allowed our tumbler to cool down, so it is safe for us to go ahead and remove the shrink wrap. I might have to enlist the help of my weeding tool, but we'll see. And you don't want to put water on here, guys, when it's hot, because the glass will break. So do not put water on here. Just allow it to cool on its own. Do not put water on it. All right, let me get my weeding tool. Give me 1 minute. All right, I went ahead and grabbed the lid. Now when you use the weeding tool, guys, be careful, because remember that you can scratch the coating on your tumbler, and you don't want to do that. So when I'm doing this, I'm pulling the weeding tool towards me and away from the glass. So see if you guys can see. When I go in, I'm going in and I'm pulling out towards me. So I'm not going up against the glass. Now remember, it's frosted. It's a frosted glass, so it's going to have that frosted look to it. Should have brought my trash can around on this side. Oh, y'all can see those colors so far. Oh, I think it's gonna be so pretty. Oh, it's so pretty. It's like I get a good grip on it, and then the tape is like, no. Just take your time. And like I said, do allow it to cool before you start doing this part of the process. There we have it. There we have it, guys. It's done. Let me move all this trash out of the way. And I'm going to put the lid on. It has a bamboo lid, as you can see. And then I'm going to turn it on so you can see the full glass or tumbler. Isn't that pretty? Let's see if I can come in so you guys can see it a little bit better. right, guys, here we go. Look how pretty. Crisp and clean. I love it. Chime in the comments and tell me what you think. So for this project, guys, you're going to need Sublimation Blank, which is the frosted glass tumbler. I got it at Michael's. You're also going to need an image, and I created this image using the Discord server in Midjourney, and I think I have it at 8.1 by 8.3, the image in size. And you're going to need some heat tape, heat gloves. I used my convection oven. I cooked it at 356 for 8 minutes. After 4 minutes, I turned it around. I also used a sheet of shrink wrap to help secure the image on there to make sure we didn't get any ghosting. And you guys can see it is absolutely beautiful. All right, but again, allow it to cool completely and do not apply water because you will crack the glass. All right, guys, that is it. If you have any comments, chime in the comments, or if you have any questions, chime in the comments. And if you're currently in my Facebook group, thank you so much for subscribing and following me via Facebook, Candoris's Cricut and Creative Crafters. And if you would like to join my Facebook group, it will be linked in the description of this video tutorial. If you're currently subscribed to my YouTube channel, thank you guys so much for the support via YouTube. If you like my method of teaching, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. All right, guys, you know my motto is each one reach one so that each one can teach one, and you guys have an amazing day. Bye.